How is everyone today?
Glad it's Friday.
That's right. It feels like every other day though, right?
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes.
Who is in the courtroom for pretrial?
Cheryl Thomas.
All right, Ms. Thomas. And then is there anyone in there for corrections or
Yes.
inmate records?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's that?
No, nobody's here for corrections. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have a private attorney here.
Okay.
His client is not coming to court due to mental health. He
Okay.
just wants to address you.
Sure. What's the name of the client?
Morning, Your Honor. It's Nicholas Rivera. It's an out-of-county warrant.
Oh, okay. Mr. Morrison?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that you?
That
okay.
is.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Judge, and yourself?
Well, thank you. Ms. Hamroff is here with the state. Let me find the case. Nicholas Rivera, it's an out-of-county warrant. All right. I'm going to call this case. Actually, could you put your appearance on the record, please, Mr. Morrison?
Yes, ma'am. Michael Morrison on behalf of Nicholas Rivera.
Thank you. All right, and this is an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County, 20 CF 1073. Mr. Rivera was arrested on an out-of-county warrant. It's a 26-count warrant. Did you want to be heard? I'm not gonna do anything with the warrant. It's an out-of-county warrant. I don't have any jurisdiction on it.
No, Your Honor, just so defense is aware, we are going to be doing a motion.
Oh, 1 second. Is that better? She'll call me if it's not?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just so the court's aware, we are going to be doing a motion to consolidate number 1.
Okay. All right. And then you all can coordinate that down in Osceola County?
Yes, Judge. I did want to bring one thing to the court's attention, Your Honor, if I may.
Sure.
As Ms. Hammeroff indicated, this is actually part of another case, and the initial magistrate who signed the arrest warrant was not informed that he was already released on bond. Basically what happened, Judge, was there was an initial search of a device that resulted in an Osceola County case. This, what you're looking in front of you, is the result of a more in-depth search. The
I
bonds on the initial search were $5,000 and then $150 for each count, and now it's $10,000 for each count. So what I'm bringing to the court's attention, Judge, is that information was left out of the affidavit that was sent to the magistrate. And I would ask the court at this hearing, if the court is able to, I doubt it, or willing to adjust the bond amounts to be more reflective, Judge, of what he's already out on bond for.
Okay.
If I may, Your Honor, those initial 8 charges were included in the arrest affidavit. We did actually attach a copy of the prior arrest affidavit to the arrest affidavit on this case. And the 26 counts do not include those, are still separate.
Okay. So at this time, Mr. Morrison, I'm not going to modify the bond amount, given that it's an Osceola County case. And they don't give us the actual affidavit. I don't have access to that, so I have limited information. But I'm sure that you all can contact Judge Morgan's office, who's handling these, and get a hearing.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Take care, Your Honor.
You too. All right.
Okay.
It's not going to be reset. I think it's been called and we're done. You're welcome. Have a good weekend. Dexter, are we going to start with move up or with Spanish?
Move up, Your Honor. And then
Okay.
Spanish.
Okay.
You too, be safe.
Tell me. These are all the move ups, and then it goes to domestic. Okay. So I'm with Prince Johnson. He's the first move up. Got it. Yes, could I have the state and defense put their appearances on the record, please?
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Thank you. So good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Prince Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you are here in case number 19 CF 14110. You failed to appear for a status hearing back in February of this year. I did speak to Judge Adams this morning, and she has set your bond at $2,000 with no contact with the victim. You are to appear in court on June 4th at 9 a.m. in courtroom 18D.
Okay.
That'll be written on your order, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge Adams. The time? 9 a.m. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Monet Willett.
Miss Willett, you are here in 20 MM 355. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness here for Miss Willett?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, at this time, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription. Your bond is $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. And ma'am, if you need to return to the residence one time to get your things, you may do so, but you need to go with the police.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Gina Cass.
Ms. Cass, you were here in 20 CF 4732. You were arrested for second-degree murder. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
I'm sorry.
I'm asking the state if they want to be heard regarding your bond.
Yes, Your Honor. Ask the
Okay.
court to consider
Yes.
all the information in the arrest affidavit, including statements and increase the state consistent with find that there is.
Ms. Haling? All right. Ms. Cass, at this time, the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. And at this time, your bond will remain at none. You will need to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 16 to see if the judge would like to exercise discretion and grant a bond. You're also not to have any contact with any of the witnesses in this case or possess any weapons or firearms, ma'am. Thank you.
May I say one thing? I
would
don't want to
advise
take a
you
plea
not.
bargain, and I plead the fifth. I do not want a plea bargain.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Bless you.
Your Honor, English is behavior.
All right, that's 20 CF 4713. I'm going to find a waiver of Miss English's behavior based upon her, I'm going to find a waiver of her appearance based upon her behavior and inability to come to court. Appoint the public defender. She was arrested for burglary of a conveyance, providing false ID to law enforcement, and petty theft of $100 or more. There is probable cause. She's not to have contact with the victim or return to the scene. Her bond on count 1 is $3,500, bond on count 2, $100, bond on count 3, $100. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, William David Goshenauer, ma'am.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 4735. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank
You
you.
need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must attend all court dates.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'll take care of
Thank you,
this
sir.
for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
The next person, Your Honor, McCarthy, is mental health.
Okay. That's 20 CF 4723. Miss Haley, I'm going to appoint your office to represent him. Do you want to waive his appearance and? Okay. And while we're talking about that, for any of the cases that they can't come for either mental health or medical, do you want me to just appoint your office and then you'll waive? Yes. Okay. So in that case, Mr. McCarthy, 20 CF 4723, I'll appoint the public defender. He was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, battery, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. He is not to have contact with the victim, return to McDonald's, or possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $1,500. Bond on count 2 and 3 is $100. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Jesus Marquez.
Mr. Marquez, you were here in 20 MM 2831. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Marquez?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, or cost, no return to the scene of the trespass.
Has,
If I may, also, I don't.
sure. Ms. Fusco, did you want to make an offer on that case as well?
I don't have those records, so I would defer to the court.
Okay. Mr. Marquez, do you want to, you currently have three open cases. You have your new case and then the two old ones. Do you want to take care of one of the older cases with the new case today as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
In the second case, Your Honor.
Okay. Zaxby's. Okay. All right, Mr. Marquez, did you have a chance to review the plea form this morning before court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form?
No, Your Honor.
And you're not on probation?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir. In 20 MM 2831, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You are not to return to the scene, which is the African store. You're going to have to pay court costs on both cases. Those will be due by April 17th of 2021. And then in 20 MM 1865, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 13 days in jail. You've got credit for 13 days time served. You are not to return to the Zaxby's. I'm not going to take any action on the other case. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Your name, please?
My name is Santiago Nunez.
This is 20 MM 2837. You were arrested for providing false ID to law enforcement. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Nunez?
Ma'am, I wanted to see if I can, if I wanted to be released on PTR. I work every single day. And I just would like to, I'm currently on unemployment, so I would like to return on PTRs.
Okay, so Mr. Nunez, you could also resolve your case today. You could enter a plea if you wanted to, or you could be on PTR. If you go on PTR, you're going to have to come back to court on another day.
I will come back on court on another day, ma'am. I'm in the process of actually moving. I'm getting my stuff out of my storage, and I'm moving into a new bedroom that I'm actually going to be renting out. So I think PTR would be a better solution for me, please.
All right, Mr. Nunez, I'll release you on pretrial release. Have a nice day.
Thanks, ma'am.
Any
I will see you.
condition, Judge?
Nope.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Vasquez Raphael, mental health.
All right. That's an out-of-county warrant case from Hillsborough County, Florida. The bond amount is $500. I'll appoint the public defender in that matter as well.
And the next person after him, Your Honor, is Michael Taylor, mental health also.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Taylor in 20 MO 518. He was arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. I'm going to release him on his own recognizance, and I'm not taking any action out on bond.
Judge, for
Yes.
Michael Taylor, he had an open case, which was 2019 MM 155. It's petty theft.
We don't have that one.
Yes.
Could you tell me the case number again, please?
2019 MM
Okay.
000155 AO.
It's set for a competency hearing on April 20th. I'm not going to take any action on that case.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, that's the move ups. And then I'm going to go ahead and call the interpreter. We only have 2 Spanish cases? Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter.
Hi, good morning. Can you remote into the headphones at the jail?
Just one moment, please.
Thank you.
This is interpreter. Is that courtroom number 3?
No, number 2.
One moment, please. Connected.
Great, okay. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Buenos días, señor. Deme su nombre, por favor.
You're still coming through the loudspeaker, Mr. Interpreter.
Shaquille Carino.
Sir, you were arrested in 20 CF 4734 for trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, and fleeing and eluding. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $15,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the next person on the docket, Rivera, medical.
Okay. That's 20 CF 4742. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rivera. He was arrested for robbery with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, petty theft, and battery. There is probable cause for the offenses. Actually, Mr. Interpreter, you can disconnect. This is the only other Spanish case that we have, and the defendant's not present.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks so much. Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks.
All right. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond on count 1?
Your Honor, we would just like to ask the court to consider all of the facts in the arrest affidavit, including the facts that the defendant was known to the victim. The wounds were consistent with the statement, and there was video footage obtained. Time proof evidence presumption grade.
Ms. Haling?
Yeah,
Right. The state has met their burden based upon the information that is contained in the sworn probable cause affidavit for arrest to establish that there's proof evident or presumption great. Bond on count 1 will remain at none. Bond on count 2, it will be $2,500. Bond on count 3, $150. 4, 5, and 6 will be $100. He's not to have any contact with the victim or witnesses or possess any weapon. Oh, he also has reporting requirements. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Gianna Darvines.
What is it?
Gianna Darvines.
I don't have.
I believe the last two. You have it. 2009 481. 9481.
Des Ravines.
That's the last name.
Ma'am, is that your first name?
It's Gianna Darvines.
This is Dexter. What's this woman's inmate number?
9481.
Okay, I think the wrong name is on the affidavit.
Yes, the first name is to be.
Ma'am, what's your date of birth?
12/10/99.
Okay. This is 20 CF 4745. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and child abuse. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness on this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
May she have a return?
Yes. Ma'am, if you need to go back to the house, you may do so one time with the police to get your things. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name?
CJ Flower.
Mr. Flowers, this is 20 CF 4736. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, threatening a public servant, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Flowers?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions, sir, about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. I just want to know about PTR or R&R.
Well, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. Just if I need to get my stuff, I can just call the local police and they escort me, correct?
That's correct.
All right, yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name?
I'm Devon McGee.
Mr. McGee, this is 20 CF 4722. You were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. McGee?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is she already in the box?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Ma'am, good morning. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Sabrina Rose Chattergoon?
All right. Ms. Chattergoon, do you want to have contact with Mr. McGee?
Yes.
And do you live together?
Yes.
You want to continue living together?
Yes.
I know you're pregnant now. Do you have any other children in the home?
We do. Yes, we have a 2-year-old.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about your safety or your children's safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No.
How long have you been in a relationship with Mr. McGee?
Since 2013.
Have there been any other instances of violence between the two of you during the course of your relationship?
No violence.
All right. Ms. Fusco, any questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. At this time, sir, I am going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with your wife. Do you understand what that means?
No, please explain.
So it means that you cannot act aggressively toward her in any way. You cannot act disrespectful. You cannot argue. You cannot fight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Silas Arce.
Mr. Arce, this is 20MM2820. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Arce?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need to return to the house to get your things, you can do so with the police one time. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Stephanie Barretto.
Miss Barretto, this is 20MM2833. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Are there any witnesses for Miss Barretto?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
There's no witnesses.
No witness?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
Did you read the no contact order?
Yes.
Okay. And at this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Yes, Ms. Barretto, if you need to go back to the home one time, you may do so with the police to get your things.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and then are you Tia?
Yes.
All right, do we have Tiffany here as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's on the way, Your Honor.
All right. Are you Tiffany?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to start with Tia. This is 20MM346. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Tiffany, do you want to have contact with your sister?
No.
Okay. Thank you. And while you're here, I'll go ahead and do yours and finish. They can remove you. 20MM345, you were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll also appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with Tia. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Same for you, Tia. You're not to have any contact with Tiffany. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do either of you have any questions about anything that I've just ordered?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm not going to take any action on either of the out on bond cases. And you each may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if you need it.
Yes, please. I need my things from her property, ma'am.
Okay. Can I place them on pretrial, both of them on pretrial release?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to place them both on pretrial. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Oh.
Hello.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Nicolette Ewan.
Miss Ewan, this is 20MM2819. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there a witness there for Miss Ewan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
He's in the booth. He's already in the booth.
Mr. Watson, are you can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Please solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the whole truth to help you God.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Watson, do you want to have contact with Miss Ewan? Mr. Watson, can you hear me?
I hear you, but you don't hear me.
I didn't hear you. So do you want to have contact with Miss Ewan?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, if I were to allow contact between the two of you, do you have any concerns about your safety?
No, but I would like to say something if it don't matter. I mean, if it's okay.
Sure, go ahead, sir.
For one, she's in here for nothing because she accidentally scratched me on the why the officer even brought her to jail. But there was no fight or nothing. She didn't do nothing. It was just a
All right, Miss.
verbal
I
discipline.
understand. Okay, so sir, the state attorney's office is going to contact you as the listed victim in the case, and when they contact you, you can let them know all that information.
Okay.
Okay. Today, I'm going to order that Miss Ewan, you're not to have any hostile contact with Mr. Watson,
That's good.
and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about any of those orders?
No, but we live together also.
Mr. Watson, I'm talking to Miss Ewan at the moment.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. I'll let you ask a question if you need to in a moment. Miss Ewan, again, no hostile contact.
Yes, ma'am.
No weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
What does that mean exactly? Am I going to come
So
back?
you're going to have to come back to court another time, but instead of posting money to get out of the jail, you're going to call in and check in with a pretrial officer until your case has been completed.
Okay. All right,
Okay? Mr. Watson, are you all set?
Yeah, we all set.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Marvin Phyllis.
Mr. Phyllis, you're here in 20MM2818. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there a witness for Mr. Phyllis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Phyllis, you are not to have contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if you need it. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Will I be able to stay at my location since you told me that I have to go back to my residence with the police? Because from what I was informed of, my girlfriend's not at my location no more. She's at her own place, so my residence should be fine.
Right. So if she's not living at your place and she's not there, then you can go there. If she's there, then you won't be able to be there. Do you understand?
Understood.
Okay. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir.
Thank you.
Thank Sir, good morning. Your name? Mr. Luna?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is 20MM2834. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Luna?
Yes, Your Honor, and they're in the booth right now.
All right. Ma'am, could you raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk, please?
Please solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth to help you God.
You got talking to the speaker.
Yes.
Talking to the speaker. Yes.
All right. Ma'am, please state your name.
Paula Hanagusku.
All right. Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Luna?
No.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, at this time, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes, I'm also head of household. And currently, my wife and my kid, they're not eligible to work. So I feel like I'm responsible. Is there any way I can at least transfer money? Because we still have bills to pay after all.
Sure, nothing prevents you from paying the rent or the mortgage or the light bill. You just can't have any contact with her.
Absolutely.
Understand?
Is there a time frame for that?
It'll be until either the order is modified by a judge in writing or the case has been completed.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I say I love them very much and I'm very sorry?
All right, sir. Thank you. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. If you need to go back to the house to get your things, you may do so one time with the police, but you'll need to call the police before you go.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he has the keys of my apartment, so I'm not sure if is that okay to get it back or because we won't have contact. So just to make sure he won't be getting into my apartment.
Well, ma'am, I've ordered that he cannot return to the apartment at this time. And if he does, you'll need to call the police.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Good morning. My name is Michael Winters.
Mr. Winters, this is 20MM174. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness here for Mr. Winters?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Excuse me, Judge. He
Yes?
also qualifies for PTR as an update.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rowe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Please solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. Ms. Rowe, do you want to have contact with your husband?
No.
All right, ma'am. Mr. Winters, at this time, you're not to have any contact with your wife. You are to maintain a separate residence, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes, I currently work from home. My home is my office. I don't have any other place to go. I'm currently working on COVID-19 program to let loose unto the public next week, and I don't have anything else.
Okay. Mr. Winters, unfortunately, I can't help you solve that problem. I can't tell you where you can go. But you can go back to the house one time with the police to get the things that you need from the home. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Oh, okay, thank you. I do want to add that our house is big enough where she can stay in one side of the house, I can stay in the other side of the house, and we can come to that agreement because, like I said, the house is big enough where I have my office and everything else, and she has her own place.
Yeah. I understand, Mr. Winters. That's just not a dispute that I'm able to adjudicate today, okay? That's something that would have to be discussed on a different day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
My name is Tiffany Carr.
Ms. Carr, you are here in case number 20 CF 4738. You were arrested for possession of heroin. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail. And you must appear at all court dates, ma'am. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Judge, did you see
Yes.
the auto bond?
Thank you, Lord. Ma'am.
The auto PTR case?
I did. I'm not revoking her PTR.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Cassis Guzman, is
Yes.
medical. Is medical.
Okay. Right, that's 16 CF 4622. Mr. Cassie has failed to appear for a status hearing. back in March. Ms. Hanley, I did reach out to Judge Roche today. This is her case to let her know that he is here. I'm assuming your office will file a motion to get him in front of her on that conditional release. Right, but the bond is set at none. So I think she probably wants to see him. You're welcome. And then I'm not going to take any action on the, I don't know.
Judge, I have another one for him.
Okay.
It was updated. The case number is 2019 CT 00354780.
Oh, I'm not going to take any action on it.
Okay, thank you.
Are you Mr. Crawford?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. You are here in 20 CF 3346
Yes, ma'am.
for failing to register.
Yes, ma'am.
This was pursuant to a warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Crawford, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at your next court date. You do have reporting requirements, sir, when you're released from the jail. Do you understand?
Reporting where, ma'am? To.
You need to report to the sheriff's department.
Yes, ma'am. Today.
Okay.
On God.
Thank you.
Right now.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, John Doe, mental health.
All right. That's 20 CF 4740 and 20 CF 4739, 20 MM 2836. I'll appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Doe in all his cases. I find probable cause for all of the offenses. Bond on count 1 in CF 4740 is $2,500 on count 1. 150 on count 2. Bond on CF 4739 will be 150, and on MM 2836 will be 100.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Virgil Freshour.
Mr. Freshour, this is 19 CF 16825. You were arrested for grand theft third degree pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to go to any pawn shops. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates, sir. Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't know who the victim is.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Horn, bonded.
Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Celeste Joel.
Mr. Jerome, this is 20 CF 4731. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for aggravated battery with a firearm and a discharge, aggravated battery with a firearm, and then aggravated assault with a firearm, tampering with the witness to hinder communication to law enforcement, tampering with physical evidence, and petty theft of $100 or more. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any of the victims or witnesses in this case. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms or return to the scene. Bond on count 1 is $20,000. Bond on count 2 is $150,000. Bond on count 3 is $150,000. Bond on count 4 and 5 is $150,000. Bond on count 6 is $100,000. Thank you, sir.
Judge, the ICE hold that he have it has been lifted.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning. Your name?
James Anthony Jones.
Mr. Jones, this is 20 CF 4681. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause habeas for battery 1 prior. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to any of the Walt Disney World properties. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is $5,000, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
5,000. Good morning. Your name?
Romario Lucian.
Mr. Lucien, this is 20 CF 4743. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Anthony Manuel Orsini.
Sir, this is 20 CF 4721. You were arrested for possession of heroin, possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause, sir. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to place you on pretrial release in this case. You also failed to appear in 18 MM 1099. Is there an offer for Mr. Orsini on the FTA case? Mr. Orsini, do you want to resolve your petty theft case?
How is it? Because I was actually incarcerated in Seminole County when I caught the FTA, so really I shouldn't, and then I got released. So I don't understand how I got an FTA.
Well, you're not resolving the FTA, you'd be resolving the underlying charge of petty theft. So you can either pay the bond, there's a $500 bond on it, and then you would go back to court on that case on another day, or we can take care of it this morning.
And how is that?
You would enter a plea.
Which would be?
How many days does Mr. Orsini have? Okay. It would be a time served plea, sir.
Time served?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I would do that if it's time served.
Okay. Was it NTA?
I did, but I'm just trying to understand the purpose.
All right.
All right. Mr. Orsini, he has 2 days. It would be an offer of 2 days with credit for 2 days. I would order restitution and reserve as to the amount for 30 days. I don't know if Walmart recovered all the items or not. If they didn't, the state would have 30 days to provide the amount of the items that were not recovered, and you'd be responsible for paying that as well. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have a chance to review the plea form?
I did. Now, to be correct, I get released today and I have to pay back all the restitution fee.
question about the plea form.
Well, you're gonna have to pay court costs, but that's a separate issue. I'm asking you if you read that plea form.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything that's on the form?
No, ma'am.
All right. And you are not on probation?
No, ma'am.
And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to the Walmart. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by April 17th of 2021. I'm going to order restitution and reserve as to the amount for 30 days to allow the state to provide that information if Walmart did not recover the items. So you have a whole year to pay the court costs, but you will be released today on pretrial release on the new case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then Mr. Orsini will need fingerprints.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Deontay Owens.
Mr. Owens, you're here in 20 CF 4368. You were arrested for robbery with a firearm. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard?
They contacted the victim who had listed an Xbox controller and game on OfferUp for $150. The defendant initially paid the victim $150, left with the Xbox controller and game, but the return was done and demanded the return of the $150, which is given to him by the victim. Witness saw him enter the victim's home and gave a description. Law enforcement was able to obtain phone records, and the defendant phone was used in the transaction on OfferUp, and he matched the description by the witness and the victim. We asked the court to find proof of evidence or presumption great and comment no.
Yeah, no. All right. So, Mr. Owens, at this time, based upon the information that's contained in the arrest probable cause affidavit, the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. Your bond will remain at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 12 to see whether or not the judge would like to exercise discretion in setting a bond. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or have any contact with the victim or witness in this case. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Jimmy Regis.
Mr. Regis, this is 20 CF 4708. You have two cases this morning. I will appoint the public defender in both. You also have 20 CF 4709. In the first case, you were arrested for robbery with a firearm. In the second case, you were arrested for carjacking. Those were both pursuant to probable cause warrants. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. The court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, including the facts that the two victims were both able to identify the defendant in separate photo lineups. The defendant was seen entering a residence, later determined to be his address following one of the criminal activities. The owner of the motorbike also witnessed the second armed encounter with the defendant. We asked the court to find the governor great and hold him with no bond.
Yeah, no, we defer. All right. Sir, at this time, the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. You're going to be held at no bond. You're going to have your lawyers file motions in the respective divisions to see if the judge would like to exercise discretion and grant you a bond.
Do I
You're not to
qualify
possess.
for a PTR or RR? A PTR or R&R release?
No, sir, you are being held at no bond. Both of the crimes for which you've been arrested for are punishable by life felonies. And the state has met their burden to hold you at no bond. Your lawyer is going to come talk to you about your cases and about what options you have with respect to bond.
You know, it's my.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I was asking because it's my birthday in like 2 more days.
Oh, well, yeah, you'll have to talk to your lawyer about that when they come see you.
Today?
I don't know when they're going to come. Thank you.
Judge, I don't
Yes.
know if you saw the carjacking has a bond of $5,000.
Oh, no. It's not. It's done.
Okay.
Thank you. Carjacking is 0.
The warrant that had said 5,000. That's all I was just asking.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Catherine Rodriguez. Good morning.
Ms. Rodriguez, you were here in 20 CF 4728. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay. Would that mean I get a bond or anything?
No, so you will be released from the jail today.
Okay.
You won't have to post a monetary bond. You're going to be calling into the pretrial program. There'll be an officer who supervises you in the community while your case is pending in the court system.
Oh, okay. So I would get released and I would just be waiting for the next trial date, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge,
Excuse me?
does she have any conditions?
No.
Okay.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Romero, is medical.
All right, 20 CF 4726. She was arrested for driving a license revoked as a habitual offender, threatening a public servant, and providing false ID to law enforcement. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Her bond on count 1 is $1,500. Her bond on count 2 is $100. Her bond on count 3 is $100. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, man.
Your name?
Carlino's Todd.
Mr. Todd, you were here in 20 CF 4741. You were arrested for unauthorized possession of an identification card and forgery of a credit card. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Dakota Ushko.
Ma'am, you're here in 20 CF 4716. You were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied structure. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Harrison Whitley, ma'am. Good morning.
Mr. Whitley, you're here in 20 CF 4727. You were arrested for sexual battery on a person over the age of 18 by a person over the age of 18 and false imprisonment. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is $50,000. Bond on count 2 will be $150,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim or her family. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Mario White.
How about Mr. Hoover?
Medical, Your Honor.
He's medical?
Yes.
All right, I'll do that in just a second. Mr. White, you are here, sir, in 20 CT 2578. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Are those the driving records, Ms. Fusco? Yes, please. All right, Mr. White, I'm going to stay your bond at $500, and I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case. Thank you. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Okay.
If you come back again, because you were just here on April 1st for driving without a license,
Yes, ma'am.
if you come back again and it's in front of me, I'm revoking all the bonds.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, and then on Mr. Hoover, 20 CT 2577 and 20 MM 2835, he was arrested for reckless driving and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases. I'm going to release Mr. Hoover on his own recognizance. Mr. Whitley, please. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jamarian?
You, Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
This is 20 MM 2826. You were arrested for petty theft of $100 or more. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Brown?
Court, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, did you want to resolve your case today?
What does that mean?
You want to enter a plea?
Yeah, I don't know what that stuff means.
You do want to enter a plea?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Well, are you unsure?
Oh, yes. Oh.
All right, Mr. Brown, did you read the plea form?
Yeah, I plead.
He's looking at it now, Your Honor.
Yeah.
You understand?
Or did you read the form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No. Yes, sir.
No.
Is that a no?
No.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to the Walmart. You will need to pay court costs. Those are due, excuse me, by April 17th of 2021. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Troy Lloyd.
Mr. Lloyd, this is 20 MM 2822. You were arrested for trespassing in a conveyance.
Ma'am.
There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Lloyd?
Could you repeat it?
I'm asking the state if they're going to make you an offer on this case.
Not today, Your Honor, on this one.
All right. Mr. Lloyd, I'm going to stay your bond at $250.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Lloyd, do you want to resolve this case today? Do you want to enter a plea?
If I know what the plea would be today.
Actually, Mr. Lloyd, I apologize. I'm just going to say the bond at $250, and I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Pages, Lazaro Pages. Ma'am.
Sir, you have two cases this morning. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You have 20 mm 2838. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams.
I do have.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender, as I said. You also have an on-view violation of probation out of Miami-Dade.
I'm sorry? I've transferred my probation to Orange County.
Right, but it still originated in Miami-Dade, so that's what it will show on the DOC website, sir.
I was just trying to get something to eat.
All right, I'm going to stay the bond at $250 on the new case, the 2838, and I'm going to set a $500 bond on the out-of-county VOP. So, sir, you've got a total bond of $750. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, O'Brien Hospital.
All right. This is an out-of-county case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him. It's a Seminole County case, VOP. It's currently, the bond is set at none. How about Mr. Talbert?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that you, sir? Sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of Lake County for failing to appear related to a possession of a firearm by a convicted felon matter. At this time, we are contacting the Lake County judge who issued the capias to see if they'd like to modify it. The public defender's office here in Orange County has also been appointed to coordinate with the public defender's office in Lake County regarding your case. Once we have heard a response from Lake County, you will be brought back to court and notified of what the outcome was.
Would that be today, ma'am?
No, sir, I don't know when it will be.
Because
It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, I just don't know.
Because I had talked to my bondsman, and they said that I already had a bond already set up again over because it was a mistake. It was a mistake what happened, and they said that I already had a bondsman, and it's bonding me out. And they talked to the public defender and all that.
On this case?
Yes, ma'am. I turned myself in yesterday. And I was at the bondsman office.
Mr. Talbert, that could be true. I just don't have any information to confirm that for you. But I do know that since we saw you here today, Lake County will be contacted and they'll know that you're here. But I can't verify for you. I don't have any information about the bond situation that you just described. All right?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Jennifer Nicole Chris.
Ms. Chris, you are here for a violation of probation. It is alleged that you violated your probation by not reporting to probation timely as directed within 72 hours of your release from the jail, that you moved without getting permission. At this time, your bond is set at $1,500, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Glory Mar Felix Colon.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, you have several cases this morning. I will appoint a public defender to represent you on all of them. You have 19 CF 4967. You failed to appear for a status hearing. In that matter, your bond is set at none. Miss Haling, are these competency cases? It looks like a VOP, actually. All right, ma'am. You also have a violation of probation warrant in that case where it alleges that you failed to report and you moved without getting permission. Bond on the VOP warrant is set at none. You have 19 CF 4568. You failed to appear for pretrial. In that case, your bond is $2,500. In 19 CF 3841, it's another violation of probation. Your bond is set at $7,500. This one? In 19 CF 3841. Just one moment, ma'am. Wrong. This case is an error. This case, the state filed a no information notice in 19 CF 3841 back in June of last year. So I'm going to ROR that warrant. And then make it. Is That's how corrections will have to close it out, I'm pretty sure. And if I'm wrong, I know Jenny will email Jill. Correct. As the state filed a no information notice on 6/24 of 2019. So I'll just ROR that so she's not held on that case and the state can close it out. Or your office can close it out. I don't know how that has to work. And then 19 CF 1798, ma'am, you failed to appear in that case. Your bond is $2,500 in count 1 and $1,000 in count 2. You have 18 CF 4793. It's a violation of probation. That is set at no bond, ma'am, where it's alleged that you failed to report to probation as directed and you moved without getting permission. You also have 18 CF 4793, which was a failure to appear in the VOP status hearing. Your bond in that case is set at none. And in 19 CF 1803, it's a grand theft third degree pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Your bond is $2,500. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Scott Maltba.
All right, Mr. Maltba, you're here on a status hearing out of Seminole County. According to Judge Rex Seidler, at this time, you're to remain at no bond. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to your case here in Orange County, and they're going to be coordinating with the Public Defender's Office in Seminole County moving forward on your case.
Okay.
All right, sir. There's an information sheet there that tells you how to get in contact with the office.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. And then it looks like we just have the 33-day motions. Ms. Fusco, are you ready to proceed on the 33-day motions?
Yes, Your Honor.